Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
Have you ever inherited anything from a relative? Money's always nice, but having something specific that they had, like a ring or a piece of furniture, is something you can always keep to remember that person by. My mom inherited a kitchen table from her grandmother. It's an antique and somewhat wobbly, but we used it every day when I was growing up, and she still has a special spot for it in her house today. I inherited some inexpensive but pretty jewelry from one of my husband's great aunts, and I always think of her when I wear it. But what if you inherited a promise? What would that mean to you? Abraham's descendants inherited some pretty significant promises. Yes, Abraham was rich, so Isaac and his other descendants would have inherited all that. But riches are fleeting, and in only a few generations, the family would find themselves in Egypt as slaves. But they still had the promises God had made to their forefather Abraham. When God made His covenant with Abraham in Genesis 17, He specified that it wasn't just for Abraham, but for his descendants as well. He said, "I will establish my covenant between me and you and your descendants after you in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be God to you and your descendants after you. Also I give to you and your descendants after you the land in which you are strangers, all the land of Canaan, as an everlasting possession, and I will be their God." Did you notice how He emphasized Abraham's descendants? This covenant wasn't an inheritance that could get used up, lost, or even given away down through the family. It held true for all generations, even down to today, a renewable promise for each generation. The promise wasn't just physical either. Yes, they would inherit the land, but they would inherit God as well. He said, "I will be their God." No rock or marble or wood for this family to worship, but the one and only God, the creator of heaven and earth, God Almighty, the nothing is impossible God, watching over them, taking care of them. What an inheritance. Of course, each generation had rights and responsibilities attached to this promise, and they had a choice whether to accept or reject Him, just as we do today. Of course, we can't all be Jewish, but we can all inherit this promise. That's what Jesus came to earth and died for, so this promise can be open to anyone who wants it. Now, no matter what race we are, we can have God as our God and live under His love and care. Paul says in Colossians 1:12-14 that the Father has qualified us to share in the inheritance of the saints in light. For He rescued us from the domain of darkness and transferred us to the kingdom of His beloved Son, in whom we have redemption and the forgiveness of sins. We weren't qualified for the promises of the Bible. None of us were. But God made a way for us to be qualified. Isn't that a beautiful promise? So if we believe in Him and trust what He's done for us, we inherit the promise that He is our God, and that He is preparing a place for us so we can live with Him forever. Are you qualified for that promise?
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you can find in the description below. Thank you for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.